Hey guys, I am technically on my 21st day of fasting. Well, I had some situations that happened where I became ill about 4 or 5 days ago. That's why it took me a minute to get back onto making these videos. Since then, there was 3 to 4 days where I fell off my fast, and as of yet, I have not been able to continue because I felt like literally very, very sick. Like I wasn't able to keep food down. I mean, it would go down this way. And I got like a sinus infection. I ended up going to the doctor. Anyways, however, I kind of spoke to God and I told him, hey, God, right now I'm not feeling the greatest. I hope you can not be upset that I am currently unable to do this fast for these next few days. I still, however, have been listening to worship music. I have still been reading the Bible, and I've still been doing my devotionals. Recently, on I think I'm even behind in my devotional for the praying husband. The praying wife for Stormy or Martian, where I'm praying for my husband. And yeah, I'm on day 19 of reading a prayer, and it's supposed to be my 21 days already. What can I say since then? My husband did try to call me again. I believe it was a week ago on a Monday. When he called again, he wanted to know who had told me about that. I knew he was talking to other women. I said, nobody told me. Because he's like, so I can go back. Like, the way he made it seem is like he needed to go check somebody out. Check them, for maybe telling me that they were talking to me, but I already knew that he was talking to somebody anyways, so it doesn't matter. When he did call, he was so smart and meticulous. He was able to get me going with reading about the current thing that he has been doing with his dorm, his spiritual dorm. He's in his spiritual dorm, so he calls me up, started talking about forgiving and unforgiving and how I made him feel angered by me questioning that he was talking to somebody. And I told him, at the time I didn't have no problem. I asked you, you said what you said, and I dropped it. He's like, it angers me that you should already know I wouldn't do something like that to hurt our marriage. Like, he did something like this 2 months ago, and he's expecting for me to believe that he didn't do it again, which, after the first 20 minutes, he was all sweet and like a regular whatever. And then towards the end of the phone, he even like, can I call you again? I'm like, all right, call me again. And then he calls back and he's like, well, obviously nobody could have told you that they're talking to the other woman because according to you, the other woman's in jail, right? Right? And I'm just like just right there, that gave him away. And I was just to the point where I just was not going to take his lies. Like, I had 3 amazing days. That's when I first started being sick last Monday. And I was just not going to have it. I already know that he's lying to me. And, why even continue with that in that negative state? So I ended up changing my number so he couldn't contact me. Because at some point he had his mom, ask me questions. And I'm just like, I told my mother-in-law, right now, I do not want to hear his name. Just hearing his name gives me head-on anxiety because I can't understand why a person would jeopardize their own future, you know what I'm saying? It's besides me. It's besides me. It's very confusing how somebody would want to live in a tumultuous lifestyle where they're selfish about themselves. And I got to thinking, about my stepdaughter, and when she left here, she was like my daughter, and I treated her like my own. So whenever she went back to Florida, she was all about Florida, all about her mom, all about her life over there. She didn't take interest to, you know, continuing our relationship. And at that point, I knew that it was that she was loyal to her need of you. So it's because she's not in Minnesota, she doesn't need anything from me. So now she's all about Florida because now she needs the people in Florida. Which, you know, I understood, you know, the whole time I'm like, you know, it's just a rough upbringing that she had, this and that. But, you know, talking to her mom and then the dad, they're like, it wasn't that bad, you know, so I trusted that. I check up on them weekly, and I do trust that it wasn't as bad as she claims to be, but I guess I never understood where it came from. And then finally, after having that conversation with my husband, and I even told him, like, the reason she's like that is because of the things that you taught her. Just take it, Ivan. And he's like, well, we didn't teach her nothing bad. You know, you need to own up to what you've done, and that's it. Owning up acknowledges that you accept the hurt that you've caused to others. And he just wouldn't even do that either. Acknowledge that the way he was living his life ultimately rubbed off on his daughter. Which now I understand that when he's talking to somebody else, well, now he doesn't need Carla, so now he can go 3 to 4 days. When he needs Carla again, he's going to end up calling again. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm not about to go through all that. Like, I really am not about to go through that. Within the days that I've been sick, I ended up paying for my classes. It was a good $1,300 plus for my books, and I'm taking some classes to get additional licensure. And, you know, just working 2 jobs to maintain my lifestyle because one of the boys' dad wasn't in the picture at the time. Thankfully, he's now out, which is a total another mess that I don't even want to get into. And recently I had the problem with my child's father, and that, you know, I owned up to. I get too invested in my child's life, and I just want the best for himself. With that being said, I'm going to stay out of that one as well. When I changed my number for a whole week, I didn't reach out to anybody because I just feel if nobody is really co-signing on the type of person I am and the type of relationships we have when it comes to, you know, my child's father or whatever, I don't want those type of people in my life, you know. Like, I'm all about honesty and being truthful, and if people can co-sign on the truth, I know God is all we need. So yeah, I ended up just praying over every single situation I've been dealing with, and I guess I've been happy. I have been living in peace. Go to bed, Ivan. It's bedtime for the kids already. It's 8:40 over here. Get ready for bed, please. And yeah, so that's what I've been into. So tonight I'm reading over day 20, praying over my husband. I think a lot of this past few days I've just really been feeling sick, and I'm just like, God, just make me better. God, I just want to feel good. I've been even eating salads with ham and chicken noodle soup. I just don't know how I became sick. And of course, because I was eating at night once, it really led me to really humble myself down and really put myself like, Carla, you need to stay. Like, really not be that type of person that cares about what's happening to everybody as far as like, are they being raised good? At the end of the day, God has the final word, and if certain people choose to live in their wrongs, that's what they're going to choose to live. And going back to my husband, you know, I realized that he is also only loyal to his need of you. So if he needs you at the time, he will be a good person to you. If he doesn't need you, basically it's going to be like, screw you, like, I don't owe you anything. And you think that me having his back for 2 years, encouraging him, sending him postcards, allowing him to call me, you know, putting money in his books, I deep down trust God, and it's just really sickening that somebody would choose to stay in living in sin. You know, I'm ready for whatever happens. I'm positive outlook. This weekend I start my classes. I've already been doing some reading. Tonight I'm gonna get through a few more chapters for my classes. I just feel very fortunate, even though I do have a whole sink of dishes to do as soon as I'm done doing this video. I'm down to feeling better and just really just focusing on myself and what I need to do. I'm excited that I'm going to be up in Bloomington for the next few weekends. Hopefully I get to hang out with some of my friends from there. A couple I got in mind, a couple that I look at and just make me feel like in a happy space. I'm not trying to say names, but and I guess just living the purpose, trusting God that everything's going to be okay. I mean, He's been in my life over 7 years and He has not steered me wrong. And that's what I've noticed, is that I've just been really at peace. And it's when I try to control things that I feel anxious. And I know I shouldn't even want to control things, because God has the final word in everything. I know, do I look like a little sick? Yeah, so yeah, I'm eager. For the past few, I was trying to unlock this iPhone and I was unsuccessful, so I'm gonna have to take it to the support team up at Apple or iPhone or whatever you take those at. But just really like ready for this chapter, whatever it is. I have full faith that God is working in my husband's life as we speak. As I told him about when we were talking, I'm like, all right, Anthony, if you've already decided that you want to part ways, then when you get out of there, you do the papers and the papers, and put it on God that you ain't going to call me anymore, all right? This is the last time you're going to talk to me. And you know what? You can't trust a person, so I ended up switching my number. I got a new number. Because I really don't want to be put in that confusing state every single time. When somebody continues to put you in that confusing state, knowing very well that you have children to take care of, all right, and not understanding, I'm a good mother, I take care of my kids, I work 2 jobs, and now I will be going to school. Something else I can add to my resume, right, of being such a great person. But it's just, I can't have that confusion. I've had that confusion in my life for almost 3 years that I've been with him, and deep down I'm like, no wonder the kids' mothers know. Like, they know who he is. And it's sad when somebody tells you you're this person, and really that's what you're gonna stay being. I'd rather rise up and be a different person. I even seen a friend at the gas station that I hadn't seen for like 3-4 years, and she's like, wow, or 2 years, because she knew my husband was in jail at the time. She's like, what? You're still alone? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, the Bible says I need to stay alone. I'm married and I need to respect my husband until that divorce thing comes through. And that's what I told her. She was like, wow, like, really? And I'm like, really? Like, cold turkey, ain't had no love. Like, some days I felt lonely and I wanted to reach out to people that don't deserve me. But I'm not going to do it, because I deserve more in life. I deserve more than somebody that's willing only to pay attention to me when they need me. I ain't about that. So that's why I haven't reached out to some of my exes. There's one that I think from time to time, and that's the difference. My husband, the same thing he's going through, I'm going through the same thing over here. The same temptations you're having, I'm having them too. But God is giving me the strength to stick with what His Word says to me. His Word says that He wants me to be in obedience, to treat others how He would treat me, to be respectable. I'm married, so married wife. I got to take care of the house. I got to encourage my kids to read the Bible. And I got to work like I'm working for God, so I've been doing that. But like I mentioned, fasting has been very hard. I don't know if I will be able to continue the complete 30 days fasting. I had even at some point changed the time to 7 when I started noticing I was feeling sick, and I kind of told God, God, dinner for us is very important, so I wanted to have dinner with my kids at 7 instead of 9. So I had switched the time, did that for three days, and then I got really sick. Like, I got so sick, I missed work. I ended up going to the hospital. They said it was viral. Anyways, I had a good, awful week where I was sick, And I was like, God, just make me better. I want to feel good, my Heavenly Father. I would wake up in the morning and I'm still praying to Him. God, you give me strength. God, you will give me comfort and you will give me joy this morning. And somehow I made it through. Like, I really made it through. And I was so surprised that I was sick. I was crying like a baby. But I felt like God was there for me. I really did. You know, there was times where I would just look up into the sky and there would be like this rainbow, the rainbow that continues to tell me, I have your promise and I'm going to fulfill it. And you see that rainbow and you're like, wow, He's got me. He knows that. And that's what you got to trust God in, that He does know what He's doing, regardless whether He does restore your marriage or He ends up strengthening you to be a better woman. You just got to take it for what it is, because God is amazing, so amazing that He will open up your eyes to the reality of how people are and how destructive and malicious they are. And you got to realize God doesn't want you to be stuck with a malicious person that all he thinks of is himself. You know, there's a lot of parents out there that really need to be more selfless and just think about their kids more and what's better for their kids. You know, my next goal is like getting a new vehicle and buying a home, but just without knowing where my marriage is going at this point. You know, if I would stay with my husband, I would want to buy a house here in Austin. But if he's not around, I mean, I want to go to the cities and find employment over there when I'm done with my licensure. So I do feel I'm a little bit stalling, but I got 3 months to get my license complete, and then after that I should know more. Anyhow, but I hope you guys continue to stay encouraged and continue to trust in God, because He definitely has the best plans ever. You know, Jeremiah says that God knows the plans that He has for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, to give you hope in the future. And that's one of those Bible verses that I hold very dear to heart, because it speaks volumes of how amazing He is, that He knew who we were from the start and He has planned our lives from day one. So, you know, and then you just realize you got no control over the situation. He's going to do whatever comes out of His glorious little heart, right? Anyways, stay blessed, stay encouraged. Love you guys. Have a good night.